Hello and happy week 10. My name is Wendy Moelle and I'm giving my presentation on the principles of usability. So to start, what is usability? The ISO, the International Organization for Standardization, described it as the extent to which a product can be used by specified users to achieve specified goals with effectiveness, efficiency, and satisfaction in a specified context of use. So to clarify, usability means user-centered design. When designing and developing a website, you should be focused on the prospective user, making sure their goals and requirements are met. For a website or app to be considered usable, it needs more than ease of use. It also has to be engaging and aesthetically pleasing. So why does usability matter? Usability matters because if the user cannot achieve their goal quickly and effectively, they will leave your website and are unlikely to return. Usability is a key factor in company growth, user retention, and satisfaction, and should be fully incorporated into anything we design. While researching for this presentation, I found 5 principles of usability. Number 1, effectiveness. Number 2, efficiency. Number 3, engagement. Number 4, error tolerance. And number 5, ease of use. I'll be talking about each of these principles and how we can incorporate them into our website design. So first, effectiveness. Effectiveness is about the user being able to complete their goal with accuracy. This comes from supporting the users. We want to make the users work easier, simpler, faster, and/or more fun. An example would be fixing a credit card field so that it only accepts a valid credit card number. An example I have here is from a retail website, and it's clear what they're asking for: your full name, your street address, and phone number. And in the phone number field, it only allows you to enter a certain number of digits so that you cannot enter too few or too many digits for a phone number. Now, if you enter an incorrect digit, that's a different problem. You also need to consider the language you're using on your website. Use commonly understood concepts, terms, and metaphors. Follow real-world conventions, and present information in natural and logical order. The clearer and simpler the language, ideally a 6th grade level, the more likely it is to have the right impact on your user. I'm not talking about dumbing down the language. Just keep it simple for clarity. There are apps that will analyze your text and assess its readability if it's something you need help with. Number 2 is efficiency. Efficiency is all about the speed. How fast can the user get the job done? When considering efficiency, look at the number of steps or clicks are needed to achieve the goal. Can they be reduced? Clearly labeled navigation buttons with obvious uses will help. You should allow experienced users to work more quickly by providing abbreviations, using function keys, and allowing customization or tailoring of frequent actions. We also need to consider how the user is interacting with the website. Are they using a computer, a tablet, or a smartphone? As we've talked about this in class all semester, and as you know, they require different approaches to navigation and context. An example I have is Amazon.com. So as you can see from the smartphone screen, the most important things are at the top. You have the cart here and the search button, but there's not a lot of suggestions or pull-down menus at the very top. But when you look at the computer screen, you can see they still have the search bar and the cart at the top, but you have a lot of suggestions. There's the pull-down menu, so you can look at different categories. So you get a lot more information on the computer screen versus on the smartphone. Third is engagement. This is where the aesthetics matter. The user should find the website pleasing and gratifying to use. It's not only about looking nice, it's about looking right. This is when we need to think about the design principles we've learned about. We need to look at proper layouts, readable typography, and ease of navigation. You also need to take into account the purpose of the website. Wikipedia is a great example of readability because of its ultra basic design. An example I have is for a nonprofit called CharityWaters.org. From their website, you can see that their nonprofit is about bringing water to people across the world. You can see what they're asking for here in the middle where they have the button. You can see who they're about here at the top. You have separate buttons here that are less obvious with the donate and get involved to volunteer. And you have a great picture showing exactly what they're about. I think it's a very engaging website to look at. Fourth is error tolerance. We want to restrict opportunities for the user to do the wrong thing. We do this by allowing reasonable variation in input, asking for confirmation before any potentially destructive actions like deleting a file or image. We want to give examples and support when asking the user to provide data. And we want to provide clear messages to describe a problem and suggest a solution to the problem. We also need to allow the user the opportunity to redo or undo if they have made a mistake or want to abandon an unwanted action like deleting an item. So an example I have is from a retail website again. So here you would put your credit card information in, and then you would hit review order. So when you hit review order, it allows you to review your name, your address, your contact information like your phone number and email, and then the items that you're purchasing. And if you need to edit anything, that's when you would be able to do that, or decide altogether if you don't want to purchase the items. And then you can purchase, then you can hit the purchase button. But this gives the user an ease of mind about whether to make sure that they have entered all the correct information. It's not going to be sent to the wrong address, and they're able to move forward without anxiety. And the fifth one is ease of learning. If you want your website to be used regularly, then you want the user to be able to learn their way around easily. And you can do this by designing the site to be intuitive and with ease for the user to navigate. An example of this would be the use of virtual buttons that look like real buttons. This triggers the user's brain to push the button because it represents something in the real world that they've used before. You can also reduce the clutter and remove any unnecessary elements. You want to keep the most commonly used options visible and others easily accessible. An example I have here is from walkingwallofwords.com. You can see that it's very uncluttered. Just have a main graphic on the home page. Then you have the options to select here on the left corner. There's only 4 options: listening, giving, tour, and releases. It's very easy to navigate and to look at, something that a new user wouldn't have a hard time following. Lastly, I want to talk about utility and usefulness. A website should provide necessary utility and address the real needs of users. The information provided should be relevant to the user's task. And when you combine utility and usability, you get a useful product for the user and something they will return to over and over again. In conclusion, when designing anything, but specifically a website, form should follow function, meaning first take into account what the user will need and how they will logically proceed to achieve their goal on your website. Then move forward with your design. I hope this presentation was helpful and that it gave you something to think about as you're designing your websites. If you have any questions or need clarification, please ask. Have a great week. Thank you.